Looks good. Stadium truck doesn't have tires on it. Oh well. Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name is Ryan Styles Harris, and in this video today, we are kicking off the 2019 racing season. For those of you that have been longtime watchers of the channel, the Jconcepts Supercup series is something that I get to participate in every year. Phenomenal series down here in the southeast region of the United States, as it features a lot of good old-fashioned outdoor clay tracks, a few indoor ones as well, and it's just all around a fantastic series, and I can't wait to get this season going. So I'll put together a little edit here from the first stop, and we'll go ahead and watch that, and I'll be back in just a second to jump into all the good stuff.
Been the fastest wheeler all weekend long in this. They're all been on under 35 class. Oh, trying to set that lead. Got a handle of cars behind him. That's your second, third, fourth, and fifth position.
Okay, round number one. SS Raceway over in Tampa. Again, familiar track if you've watched the channel before. Really like this track because it means that we're guaranteed to see the racing event all the way through, from practice on Friday to racing all the way to the end of Saturday. So for those of you that know, I race the 17.5 two-wheel drive expert stock buggy class with my team associated B6.1. And then I also run the 13.5 four-wheel drive class with my team associated B64. So this particular weekend, I had a pretty busy schedule because I was doing a lot of media stuff for Jconcepts, as well as racing and wanting to get content for this video. So super jam-packed. If you're wondering why I didn't race the 13.5 stadium truck class, That's why. I just didn't have enough time during the race day to run 3 race programs and get all that extra content. So my apologies that this one isn't going to make it in this particular season. I'll try and squeeze it in some other races here and there so he doesn't get too lonely, but we're going to focus on the buggies for this video. As of late, I put a lot of time and effort in setting up those 2 cars for some of the previous races I did towards the end of 2018. And I felt really good about these particular setups. They work very well at the higher bite indoor clay tracks with some ellipse style rears, dirt web fronts, or octagon style tires all the way around. So I went into this weekend for this particular Super Cup race at SS wondering if I could just leave the setups alone, if I could trust them and just make any sort of minor adjustments via driving style or just dial in a little bit of different tire setup. So that's exactly what we did. I did not touch the setup at all other than checking the usual things like consistent ride height and camber and that sort of stuff that you do more on like a maintenance side of things throughout the race weekend, but I didn't tweak them from what I was running before. So let's go ahead and start with the 13.5 four-wheel drive class for a change, because I normally do that one last. Let's go ahead and take a look at this car. As you can see here, setup has stayed majorly the same as it's been for the last few months. For those of you curious what this setup primarily spawned from would be the Spencer Rivkin stock nut setup that you can see on Pettit RC. I've linked that down below for your reference. This setup is really good, really neutral, very balanced, easy to drive. One tuning aspect that I have played with in the past, not this weekend, is going between the stock shock tower and the shell tower. In my experience, when I run the shell tower, I want it when I need a little bit more grip or responsiveness out of the front end. When I run the AE tower, that's when the track is extremely high bite and I need to calm the front end down a little bit. Other than that, I leave everything else the same as you see on that setup sheet. Things that might be a little bit different, but I don't think it's going to affect handling that much, are my super mega ultra dialed gold drive shafts from Exotech. That is purely cosmetic. I just liked it because I did the gold anodized finish on my Jconcepts turnbuckles. So I did the same thing with those because they're made out of the same material and I was able to do the same finish on those. I thought it looked pretty cool. What do you guys think? So that's it for the setup and what's in the car. Now let's talk about tires. On Friday, I went out on the track and I knew that I was going to run ellipse rears and dirt web fronts. The question was going to be, was I going to run green compound ellipse rears and blue fronts, or was I going to run gold compound tires? SS has progressed in the amount of grip that's in the track due to it having many treatments of traction additives put into the dirt. So much so that even after they did a fresh till and a brand new layout for this track, the track immediately had a lot of grip. So I wasn't sure how much grip was going to be in there, and I was either going to have to run the softer compound tires to compensate for the lack of grip, or it was going to be good and I could just run the gold compound tires, break them in, and go. So on Friday, we got all of that kind of figuring out of the way for 4-wheel and 2-wheel, and I found that I really like the gold compound tires. So that's what we committed to all throughout Saturday. Round 1 of qualifying and round 2 went fairly well. I went into the main event with a TQ, so I'll go ahead and jump into the main event here. You guys can watch that, run through some of the better points of that, and when I come back, we'll jump into the 2-wheel drive expert stock buggy class.
We're going on the sound of the channel. Let's see what Ryan Harris can do. Oh man, his car has been the fastest wheeler all weekend long in this, or all day long in this 13.5 class. Oh, he's trying to stretch out a lead. Got a gangle of cars behind him. That's your second, third, fourth, and fifth position, all running neck and toe right behind him. There you go. You got Ryan, Melvin, Robert, Alfredo, Jader, Justin. Top 6. All right, your leader is coming through the chicane. Oh man, is he pulling a stretch out. Oh, over thing one, over thing two. Airs it out, comes to the infield. Goes over the single double. That's your leader. Where did Jader go? Jader was right on his tail. Oh, Alfredo got back up in that second position. It's going to be Ryan, Alfredo, and Jader. 1, 2, 3. That's your podium position. You got Melvin in fourth, Chris in fifth, Ryan in sixth, Robert in seventh, Dustin in eighth, Scott in ninth, and Ben in 10th. All right, let's pick up our leader again. He is on the track. Short shoot right here in front of me. 180. Going through the chicane. Going over. Thing one. Thing two. He is closely followed by. They've got a lap car between them. That's going to be Ben. That's going to be battling behind you, Ben. That's going to be second and third. Battling behind you. Oh, the leader's going to get it wrong. Oh, man. That's going to change up position. That's gonna put 1, 2, and 3 all next to each other. That's gonna put Jader in the lead. Alfredo in second. Oh, that's gonna put Ryan back in second. Alfredo backed off. Oh, Jader gets it wrong. That's gonna put Ryan and Alfredo. They're gonna start cooking out, trying to pull away from Jader now. Oh, that's gonna put Ryan back in the lead. Alfredo in second. Ryan's car is blistering fast. Alfredo right behind him. Oh, that car lets him go. Very nice. You see a group coming up on you. Please let them go. These guys are racing for the win and podium position. Oh, Fredo gets it wrong. That's going to give Harris a little bit of breathing room now. So now you got a few seconds between the leader and second and third. With 25 seconds left. Gator's got Ryan closing in on his door. He's got 16 seconds left. 2.9 seconds back. Ryan can see Jader's car. See what he can do with 9 seconds. Caution in the middle of the track. Oh, the leader sweeps between him and the fight. Wow, what a good driving. 2, 1. Race to the line, race to the line.
So that was a pretty clean run. Made some mistakes, but picked up a W, so that's a great way to start off my season. Racked up a point for TQ and racked up a massive amount of points for the first place finish. Okay, two-wheel drive buggy. Now, my four-wheel drive, I'm very confident, even if the setup was slightly off, I usually just wheel it and it just works because it's got more power, it's four-wheel drive, and I honestly love the way that car feels. Two-wheel drive, on the other hand, I always second-guess myself. It's like, even when the car is doing exactly what I want, in the back of my mind, I'm still like, is it really doing what I want? I don't know. I hope so. It's one of those things where it's like, if I'm TQ, it's working. But if I'm not TQ, then I question it, right? Rather than just look at my driving ability, consistency, blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and look and see what's in this car here. Again, same good old-fashioned Trinity horsepower, Hobby Wing electronics. I honestly don't know what this setup mostly came from. If I had to guess, I think it was started life as the Spencer Rivkin setup, and I've kind of tweaked it to what I personally like. So again, went into this race not tweaking my setup at all and just committed to driving and figuring out the tires. So same thing, tried out the green compound rear ellipses with the blue compound dirt webs in the front on Friday, and they felt okay, but they just weren't as good as the golds. Now, I'll try and explain why I personally went with the golds versus the other, because I know that there were a lot of guys that tried the golds and went back to the greens and blue compound fronts. In my experience, the way it felt with my car when I was running the softer compound tire, the green compound ellipses in the rear, I felt like the tire was grabbing so much to the point that it would begin to fold over on itself and become more unstable. So for me, it was this really fine line that if I kept the tire happy and I didn't push it too hard, yeah, it worked and it was pretty fast, but the gold compound tires, I could push the car as hard as I want anywhere, and it was very forgiving, and it had lots of side bite and forward bite. So yeah, the super soft compound tire, it worked when you did it just right, but if you weren't, you were working the tire too hard, got too soft, folded over, and it got upset. Gold was the way to go, so that's what we used. Qualifying was a little tricky. I know in round 1, I was somewhere mid-pack in the A main. After the resort, I made a bunch of mistakes in my qualifier, so I knew I had a better run in me. But then I went out in round number 2, and I was a couple laps into it, I believe, and suddenly my car just stopped. It's like, ugh, what the heck? Can't escape these bizarro problems in my 2-wheel. So the car, it acted like it had locked up. And so when I pulled it off the track, I immediately grabbed it and turned it over. Nothing was mechanically locked. So I kind of scratched my head a little bit and was like, well, maybe it's some sort of ESC motor sensor board related issue. Looking at the sensor wire, it was there and it looked like there was nothing going on with that. There was no cuts or anything like that. So I ripped the motor out and inspected the sensor board, and then I looked at the rotor to see if it had cracked or anything bizarre happened. The motor was mechanically sound and I didn't see anything wrong with it. Checked all the soldering of the motor wires from the ESC to the motor, everything was solid there. And then as I was putting everything back together in frustration and assuming I wasn't able to figure anything out, I noticed that when I went to put my battery in, I saw the sensor wire slowly, just a tiny bit, move away from the ESC. What I had realized is I had pulled all the slack away from the ESC, and I didn't have enough up there so that it could absorb a little bit of impact from jumps and whatnot. So it had simply just pulled itself away from the ESC. And when you do that, it doesn't have a solid pressed connection, you get all kinds of problems, like what I had had. So plugged it in, nice and firm into the ESC, went back out on the track, problem solved. With a 4th or a 5th place in the first round, and then a dead last in round 2, I was sitting 6th or 7th in the A main resort after that was all said and done. So after I sorted that problem out, we went into the main, little bit at the back of the pack there, so hoping for a good start. So I'll save the good stuff for you. We'll jump into it and see what happens.
The grid is set. It's going to be, Brad's going to be the TQ holder. He's going to be in that number 1 spot. We're going live. Time is done. All right, keep it clean, keep it clean, keep it clean. Ooh. You guys got to live with your own conscience if you take somebody out and I don't see it. Alright, we got a little trouble over the big stack double. Let's see who's going to come across the line. Brad and Harris. Harris is going to go from that 6th position up to that 2 position. Oh, we got a big bobble right here in front of us. Paul gets him straightened out. We got Brad, Harris, and Alex from the 9th position up to that 3rd position. Oh man, let's see where our leaders are now. Looks like they're going to be coming across the stripe now. Brad and Ryan battling out. They're on the left side of the track, coming around the infield. Going through the short chute and through the chicane. Double. Those guys are flying. You got Trent. He's now up in that 3rd position. Yeah. Let's get her done. You got Alex right behind him. So these guys that started 6th, 8th, and 9th are running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That is awesome. 120 now, 340 to go. Let's catch our leader right here. Let's find him on the track.
Easy, Chris.
Bam. There goes Ryan. There goes Alfredo. Our leader is right there coming in front of me. Pulling a little distance on Ryan. A little 2.9-second difference now. Trent and Alex still trying to keep him in bay. Coming through the short chute now. He is sandwiched between a couple of lap cars coming through the chicane. He's got Harris all over his tail. You see a leader coming up on you, let him go. They're coming through the infield right now. Coming up on the single double, that is the leader. Coming up on you, white card, thank you very much. That's going to be 2nd place. You guys are sandwiched between 2 lap cars now, between 1st and 2nd. Third position is right here, coming across the stripe now. Trent starting to pull a lead over on Josh right now with 1 minute left. Here comes Josh across the stripe now. That's the difference between third and fourth right now. Gator's in fifth. He just crossed the stripe round. There's a pretty good distance between everyone. Caution in front of the stripe. Caution in front of the stripe. It's clear. Your leader goes around the 180. Goes to the chicane. Second place goes around the 180. Goes to the chicane. They still have 1 minute car between the two of them. You got Grant Walker right there through the 180. Mr. H.O. himself. Wheel on a 2-wheel buggy. That double 1, double 2, looking good, looking sharp. Here comes the leader across the stripe again. Going to the infield. Here comes Brad over the backstretch. He's starting to really pull away from Harris now. He's got 15 seconds left, 15 seconds. Coming across the stripe now. There's your leader, Brad, leading it from tone to tone. Here comes Harris. That is your 4.2 seconds back. There comes Trent. There goes Trent. You cross the stripe and you are done. Josh, you got caught. Josh, you got caught. You are done. Race it to the line. Race it to the line. Brad, you are done. Keep going, keep going. People are still alive. People are still alive. Ryan, you're done.
My wife holding the camera. Thank you very much. So I'm here with Brad. We just finished our 2-wheel drive extra stock A-main, and it was a really fun race. Brad, initial thoughts, just go. What are your thoughts?
It was an awesome race. I definitely got a good start.
Halfway there, guys. Halfway there.
Good. Got a clean start through the first few corners. Before you know it, Mr. Fast Guy over here already on my tail. Like, come on, give me a break.
So the start was pretty amazing because he didn't make any mistakes. So he, good job, Brad. Didn't make any mistakes. And then the C magically parted, and I found myself in second because I qualified 6th. Because I sucked and I DNF'd in round 2, but that's besides the point. So we found ourselves in, like, literally, what did we joke about earlier today? We were like, hey, 1 and 2, maybe 1 and 2.
I told Ryan he was going to win. He was all bummed out. I said, Ryan, you're going to come back, you're going to win this thing. Don't stress. Sure enough, 2 corners in.
Both our cars were fast. No doubt. Like, I think that we honestly had the fastest 2 cars here today.
Absolutely.
I actually, did we look at the heat sheet? Do you know who got hot lap in that? Did I pull a heater?
Yes,
did you pull a heater?
I think you pulled a heater.
I'm going to put it on the screen right now. Comment down below who you think got the heater hot lap. But anyways, so it was a really fun race, and I've never done it before where I got behind somebody that I practice with all the time, and we found ourselves like right behind each other. I thought I was being annoying, but I was just like, Brad, I'm not trying to race you right now. Let's just check out. Let's just create space. And we did for a few laps, I think.
It definitely helped me because when you're running with someone on the track, that's normal to you when you're always practicing together. So it definitely helped calm me down. I knew Ryan was a clean driver, wasn't going to take me out of
15 seconds even now.
A really good race. It's always a bummer when lap traffic is kind of the deciding factor behind the whole thing, but that's racing. So 1 and 2, I'm not upset with that at all. If anyone's going to beat me, I'd rather it be Brad because, Team Supreme. But cool, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, subscribe, like, all the jazz. And Brad,
that's your closest battle on the track and the clock.